Come on.
Good afternoon and welcome to Q Questions, where each week we pull back the curtain on Q, one of the most powerful trial presentation platforms in the legal world. I'm Gene, your host, and joining me here every week is Robb, OnQ's Director of User Development. For those of you watching on YouTube, welcome. You can go to the chat and click the link or the link in the description and join us right here in the studio, and we can put you up on screen and you can ask your questions right here live. If you'd rather not be on screen, you can post those questions in the comments here on YouTube, and Robb will be answering those as well. We do this every Wednesday at noon right here on YouTube, so make sure you make it part of your weekly routine to join us. And right about now, let's hear from Robb. Robb, how are you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How are you, G?
I am doing very well, man. I get excited, looking forward to this each and every Wednesday for us to get on here and chat it up about OnQ.
Man, we had a really good show last week when we were talking about that Stream Deck. And man, I'm on the fence. I don't know that I would ever use it personally, but I think it's a great tool. I think it helps a lot of people. And certainly there's no denying that for some things it can definitely be faster. So, if used the right way, I agree with it. What are we talking about today, Gene? Let's get on it.
Well, our buddy Scotty Wheeler was saying that he had heard you mention he was thinking about the on-air function on OnQ, and he heard you say that there's some pitfalls often involved with that, and kind of wanted to know about that. And I said, hey, man, I will ask Robb about that on this week's Q Questions. So here's a chance to kind of explain that. What can the pitfalls be of presenting on air in court with OnQ?
Oh, there's one major drawback and pitfall, and I have been guilty of saying, because I had to get used to what I was doing. I think the easiest way to do this is I'm just going to go ahead and put on cue up on the screen. And then let's do in the dual box, Gene, I think what we could do is maybe if I put my monitor on the left side and then over on the right side, we kick a share. There you go. Yeah, thank you. See, guys, that's why I have behind the scenes Gene always here taking care of me, making sure I have what I need. Let me go ahead and throw this up here. I'm going to get this out of the way so it's not my way, and we'll go ahead and put up on cue here. So on air is designed to be the opposite of this. So the native way of always doing your exhibits was either on the presentation screen or in the viewer like this. And then what you would do is you would press the publish button or F5 or whatever your flavor is. And that would then take that document over to the jury screen, which is on your right, folks. Well, what you can do is you can do a call out here. For instance, you've got your call out ready. It's ready to go. I'm going to move that up a little bit. It's ready to go. In order for me to send that to the jury monitor, I push F5 again and boom, there it goes. On air is designed to, I'm not going to shy away from what Trial Director had, which was their mirror mode. The problem with that mirror mode was it didn't always work right. And so on air is simply this. It gives you the ability to go on air, which means you'll notice the right side of the screen, Gene, turned black. So that means that we are in presentation mode live in front of the jury. The red bars that you see on cue turned red on the top and red on the bottom. The reason you see that is we're trying to let the user know, hey, here's just a friendly, gentle reminder that not only is there a glowing red dot in your face, but there's also these highlighted colors here to let you know you're live, right? This is live. This is the real deal. And so basically what on air does is this. Anything that you put in the viewer window from here on out, as long as you're on air, Gene, is going to go live to the jury. And so that is where the pitfall lies.
Right.
It's beautiful, Gene, that it goes straight to the jury. That's great. Less work on my part. I don't have to remember to press F5. It just goes. But that same thing is the drawback. And that is when you're sitting on something like this. Boom, we've got this document up here. Lawyer calls for, page 6 of this document. Boom, we're good. But inherently, it's going to show me in Canada right here, and I'm seeing this, and the lawyer is looking at this, and they're talking about it. I have a natural tendency, and so does everybody, I think, that's a human, to immediately click this next one just to continue reading, even though the attorney is still working here. That's the problem. Is that when you get in a hurry, for instance, let me do a highlight on this thing. Let's do a couple. We'll just do a highlight there and a highlight here, right? All right. Now, lawyer's working, you're in court, you're working, and you have that desire to click to the next thing, to keep reading or whatever. That's a natural habit. If you've never been using something like on air, it's a natural habit to think, well, it's not going to go until I put it there. So one of the things that people tend to do is they accidentally or intentionally, in my part, they just go, all right, let's see what that is. Oh, crap. What do I do now? This is where you use the Control Z, just like you do in Word, just like you do anywhere in a Microsoft product, even in hell, I think Control Z is used just universally now. You can immediately hit Control Z and bring yourself right back if you make that kind of mistake. I'm telling you, sometimes you can forget that you're on air, even though it's glowing red in front of you. That is one of the pitfalls. But remember, you have a safety net, and that safety net is the Control Z hotkey or modifier to get you back. Command is the word I was looking for there.
There you go.
To get you back to whatever you need, which I can still continue to Control Z back to when we started today. As you can see here, I'm Control Z'd all the way back, and now I'm off air. Double escape gets you off air. Boom, you're good to go. Now, a little tip and trick. I'm going to give you one trick here, and then we'll be done with this topic. I got a couple things too I want to talk about after this, but as you can see, one thing you can do if you're on air, let me show you. This is what I like to do if I'm gonna read ahead. All right. So let's get this document up here, and they're going to do a call out here on this one. Boom. And they're going to do a highlight right here. Highlight real quick. All right. And now I want to read ahead. What I will do is I will go off air. Go to the next document. Take a look at it. Notice what's happening on the right, Gene. Everything is still going according to Hoyle.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's still good for the attorney. Now I'm over here fiddle-faddling around looking for different things. And all of a sudden the lawyer says, well, hey, I want to see the rest of this sentence highlighted. My first inclination is to come right over here and just do it in front of the jury. However, this lawyer doesn't want to see the mouse move. So what I would do at that point is I would use this little gimmick right here, this little feature called reverse publish, which is modifier key Alt and F5 at the same time. And let me show you Alt F5. Notice it brings whatever is in the presentation side on the right, Gene, brings it back to the viewer. And now I would simply hit on air and then boom, go here and start doing this. So now everything is still back to being right, all right with the world. And once you master that set of ingredients there, set the oven to 350, put it in a pan, bake it for 20 minutes. Once you can just repeat that quickly, you're going to find yourself in a position where you find on air to be a great, great tool to use inside of On Cue.
And the jury doesn't know the difference because on their side, they don't know if you're on air or off again. They're just seeing what's on that screen at the time. So
for that matter, Gene, the lawyer doesn't know the difference. I mean, if you're
right.
in there presenting, the lawyer doesn't know the difference. They have no idea if you're on air or not. All they know is that they're not seeing your mouse move and they're seeing highlights come up on the screen. And to not have mouse movement, I have been accused hundreds of times of being a quick mouse mover.
Yeah.
I'm always, because I'm fidgety.
Yeah.
I'm fidgety. And so I'm sitting there and I'm on the mouse and I'm kind of just moving a little bit. Plus, back in the day, you would have screens that would time out on you after a certain amount of inactivity.
Yeah.
And so I would just make it a habit to always just go clicking monitors, just click it. Just let me click. Just let me make sure I've got focus. Remember, we always talk about focus. Just make sure I got focus here. Make sure we got some kind of action. And it's just become a horrible, horrible habit.
So just for fun, very quickly here, what would be a worst case scenario of what could go wrong if you're live in court in a courtroom situation and you moved ahead or you click something that ordinarily you would just be seeing on your screen and wouldn't change over here, but you're on air and now it has popped up in front of the jury?
Oh, I could go to a document that has been the subject of a motion in limine and was ruled that it can't come in and the jury can't see it. I have thrown a document up that actually had the logo of the Hartford, the moose for the insurance company. And if a jury has any inference about insurance, this case is over and we're going to have a mistrial. All of those things. Just because you have it in your case doesn't mean that you're going to use it in trial. Right. There may be things, this document right here, this Post-it note may be Exhibit 1 right now. And when we get to trial, that Exhibit 1 may now be pulled because there was a ruling by the judge that said we can't use Exhibit 1. Now, does that mean I'm going to delete it from my database? No. The reason that I'm not is because what if later in the trial things develop and now all of a sudden we go back to the judge's ruling to say, Your Honor, we'd like you to reconsider now that Mr. Gene has testified to this, this, and this, and the judge says that'll be admitted. Well, what am I going to do? Say, oh, sorry, dude, I took it out of the database.
Right.
Well, What if before that time I accidentally click that document? I bring it up, it flashes on the screen, whatever the case may be. That's why those are some of the disasters that can happen. And somebody like, listen, I'm click happy. So I don't think that this is something I'm telling you doesn't happen to me. It certainly has, because I'm fidgety.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good, that's, when you see that red glowing at the top and bottom, folks, that's why it's there, because it is important to remember, hey, we're live, pal. This is going out to everyone. So, very, very cool that it's designed that way, to kind of constant heads up that everything you're doing on your screen right now is going out to everybody in the courtroom.
Hey, I got something to give away, Gene. You interested?
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Hey, listen. So one of the advantages of being on if you've not done it yet, you need to take a look at this. You need to come over to the community. That's community.onqtech.com. We got people over there. There's already people starting to post comments. People are starting to kind of share stuff with each other. We're having a big discussion over there right now about clickers. Yeah. I'm a big Logitech Spotlight guy, but there's talking about clickers and stuff like that. Well, also people over there that are on the community, which we consider everybody that watches us here on YouTube part of the community too. We do things special for those people where you get it before the public does. And that's what we're going to do right here. Listen, you can email me and I can get you a copy. Of our brand new, I just finished it this weekend with help of everybody at OnQ. It was a collective effort. We have got the user manual for OnQ almost complete. Now, let me show you this thing, Gino. It is, right now it's for use with versions, the 4.5 versions of OnQ. So we're going to keep updating it and everything else. And man, this thing is 450 pages of how to do everything in OnQ. And I mean, we've got things explained. We've always said our website is where the user manual is. But as we've gone through a lot of trainings, we've realized that there are people who just, I can't read a Kindle very well. I really need the book in my hand. I really need to turn those pages. And sometimes this is what people want. So folks, we put it together for you. It is all here. I mean, it's got everything in it, everything laid out. We are doing the beta of this thing right now, where we're just going to send it out to people and say, hey, if you want to take a look at it, we'll give it to you. Is it in its final form? No, it'll be in its final form when it gets to the website. But people who watch Q questions, people who are out on the community, I want them to be able to take a look at it and see what they think. So send me an email. I've had people already do it. Send me an email, health@onqtech.com. I will reply with this in your inbox. So we're giving that away to all of our people just to kind of take a look at and have. And, it's not bad to have a manual there with you, or something that you can at least put your hands on. Right, Gene?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of us are old school, and that's just what we've always had manuals, and it just feels right, So, yeah, folks, go ahead and shoot Robb that email and help us check it out and let us know, if there's anything. Hey, it help a little bit if this looked like this, or maybe if this was a little different or whatever. All that'll be taken into consideration.
Well, what I did was I took it when we were done with it, and everybody's using AI. There's no doubt. People are using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. We're not shying away from the fact that people are using it. So what I did was I took the entire PDF, I threw it into Claude, and I said, okay, I want you to keep this, and I want you to study this, and I want you to analyze this. So when I ask questions, you can answer. Well, then I went back in, a day later or something, and I said, hey, I've got this video and this transcript, and I need to get these things synced right now. Tell me how to do it step by step. And it spit it right back. Boom, 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 directly out of the manual, how to do it, and even took some liberties to say, now you could do this as well, because it looked around the manual. So definitely something that you can use for your benefit.
Hey, we got a question in the comments here from Corey Allen. Maybe it's in the manual, but is there a faster way to export a caption file other than creating a designation with the full transcript?
I don't know the answer to that. I think that what I would do, and I'm going to I'll go ahead and move this over here so we can have it all on one screen here. I don't want to mess around with this whole thing there. So there we go. Let's put it up there. So if I want to take a designation list, right click, export, and I'm going to choose export video. Right here is where I'm going to choose to save the closed caption files, right? This is what he's talking about. Do I need to, can I export the closed caption files by themselves? I don't really know the answer to that. I can see what he wants. Is there a way to do it without exporting the whole video is what he's asking.
Right.
And so I don't think so. At this point, I don't think so. And I don't know that that's not definitely a good question to ask. And so, Gene, if you'll jot that down, I want to answer that question next week, first thing on Q Questions. I'm going to go research that and see what people think about it and get a definitive answer on that. I think as of right now, he's got another one here too that he said, yeah. And then exporting the video with a caption file. Is there a way to do it in the Sync Edit Transcripts tool? I am not sure that you can do that. Let's go into the Sync Edit Transcripts tool and let's take a look. Man, that thing's huge on this monitor. Dude, that thing is massive on this monitor. I don't think so. I think you would have to, there's really nothing, there's not much that you can do inside of here except right here. You know, you can take these actions and shift your page and line numbers and things like that. I really don't think so. I think that's something that we're going to need to look at and look at, is that something that we can do? And you can bet your bottom dollar that as soon as I get off of this today, I'll be going directly to ask those questions because I think those are legit, valid questions.
Absolutely. Well, you know, that's the thing. When you come on here and ask questions, if Rob doesn't immediately have an answer, he will go and he will not stop until he finds that answer. And then we're always back the next week with the findings. And that's another upshot of joining the community because a lot of times things can be communicated back to you without waiting that week. So
yeah, and the only thing we don't do in the community is feature requests. So like if you have feature requests, those have to get emailed still to support and on qtech.com because if we had feature requests on this board, it's weird the way that, and the development team, the devs aren't looking at the community. They're talking to us. And so it's like, you have to relay that. So just go to support and then everybody sees it that way.
Absolutely. Let's see. Looks like we got another question here. Doesn't the sync file come with a complete SMI file?
All right. I'm going to answer the question in a minute, but that is my friend Ezram. Let me tell you how far back Ezram and I go. If just as an aside, folks, this is a relationship business. When I first started shooting video back in a long time ago, Ezram was one of my mentors and one of my teachers. And he's actually the one who tested me in New Orleans, Louisiana for my CLVS. And he was one of my instructors. And then we had a chance to connect in Miami, and just a great guy. His wife bought a shirt for me while we were in Miami, and just great people. Does the sync file come with the complete SMI file? It doesn't, meaning from Timecoder, Yes Video, Synchron, or any of those. You can choose, I'm sure, to take the SAMI, but you're not going to get a SAMI. When you use ProSync, you're not going to get a SAMI file. You've got an MDB you can export. But it comes with the other distros out there that can get you those files. And so that's exactly what Corey's saying here. Not if you sync it using ProSync. You can export an MDB, blah, blah, blah. Same thing I just said. So you can absolutely get those from other places. And I've never had any use for a SAMI or a WebVT or an SRT RIP or any of that, but people needed them, obviously, so we put them in there.
Absolutely. Well,
we're right under. Hey, we're pizza delivery. We're right under 30 minutes. Take us home, Gene.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us once again here on Q Questions. Remember, we're here every week at noon live, ready to answer your questions. Again, we'd love to see you over in the Q community, the On Q community, I should say. I keep trying to shorten that into one word for some reason, but yes, join us there and join us back here next week for another episode of Q Questions here on Q Tech. Good Lord, youtube.com/
This is what happens when you're live, folks. This is what happens when you go live. Try that one more time, Gene.
youtube.com/ @onqtech. And I promise you next week, I will learn how to talk between now and then. We'll see you then. Thanks.